She's a mom, she's an actress, she's a host, she's an entrepreneur. No, it's not Superwoman, it's Audrey Walters, and she's here in studio to talk about her new movie and what's next. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh. Love it. What a way to start the show. Well, I must say, like, as fellow Texans, we have to play some Willie Nelson.
Absolutely.
What's up, AfterBuzzers? You are watching a mini spotlight. I'm your host, Morgan Willett, and I'm so excited. I am joined with actress Audrey Walters. Audrey, how is it going?
It is going wonderful.
I mean, we're starting the show with Willie Nelson, so
Yeah.
you can't get better than that.
Exactly. Willie is always a winner. Always a win.
Us Southern gals. We love the country music.
Exactly.
In LA, maybe not so much, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's all right.
Well, speaking of Western, let's just jump on in. You have a new film coming out, Big Kill. Tell us a little bit about your role, what the movie was like.
Okay. Yeah, Big Kill is a Western. And we filmed it on this old Western set. It's actually a historical set right outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico, Bonanza Creek. And if you've ever seen Lonesome Dove, that was filmed there.
Oh.
Lots and lots and lots of Westerns were filmed there. So it was really kind of cool when you were walking the streets and in some of the rooms. It just has this history. It's kind of sacred, you know. It was really, really cool. So I play the madam in the whorehouse.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. You know, someone's got to be in charge of all the young.
Someone does.
The young people. So that was me. So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It was challenging at times, but that was what was so cool about it too.
So what was, say, like one moment that was the most challenging while filming this movie?
It was freezing. And it is truly a Western set, so there is absolutely no insulation whatsoever. And we had night shoots, so we had taken, you know, our 2 days off, and then we shifted it over to night shoots. And that was a huge adjustment, because sleeping was just jacked up and wrong. But also because it was just freezing, so we would film, and then they would call cut, and all the actors would just run over to this heater that they would turn on, and we would just be like, oh. And obviously, if I'm in a madam in the whorehouse, I'm not wearing a whole lot of clothes.
I was gonna say, you probably aren't wearing like a cardigan, are you?
No, definitely not.
Oh my gosh. Well, were you a fan of Westerns before taking on this role in this movie?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I've always loved Westerns. I used to watch a lot of them with my dad, who still watches a lot of them. And yeah, I've always loved Westerns. I think that they're classic. And then it was really, really amazing getting to work with Lou Diamond Phillips when he came on set. And Scott Martin was the director. He was the writer. He acted in it. He did like so much in this film, and it was pretty amazing. It was a great group of people.
Well, did anything like, I always feel like on sets, there's like a crazy story of something that happens. I'm like, I'm not an actress, so I don't know. Was there one moment that you're like, I will never forget that moment about filming this movie?
Yeah. Well, one night after we'd wrapped, we were all went back to the hotel, and we ate dinner there, which we did almost every single night or every single morning before we leave. And so we decided to play poker.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, I'm not really a very good poker player at all. I really am not, but my family likes to play poker. So, well, you know, we just play for fun, right? And so Scott and his wife were there, and they were like, we're playing penny poker, and a bunch of the actors had bags full of pennies. And so it must have been going on before I got there. So I was like, all right, let's do this, because I was super excited because I knew Lou was a poker player too. So we have this huge table, cast and crew. Jason Patrick was next to me here. And I remember that we were playing, like, taking turns, you know, picking a game and being the dealer. So we were doing it, and I ended up winning, like, everybody's money. So,
okay, the not professional poker player who doesn't play wins. I love it.
It was so funny because then Lou kept saying, he goes, I think you're better at poker than you say. And I was like, I'm really not. It was just luck. That was
Beginner's
it.
luck is a thing.
It was just luck. Yeah.
All right, so maybe next movie we'll have a poker movie or something
There
like
we
that.
go.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so the tentative date is August 17th for Big Kill. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's right. Yeah, August 17th. It should be in theaters, and I'm really excited to see how it all turns out. Yeah.
Has there been any feedback? Because I know the trailer's out. I got to watch that. Have any fans reached out? Are people pumped? What have you heard?
You know, a lot of the feedback I got is that it's a very different type of Western. It has a lot of humor to it. So and it does. It has a whole lot of humor, and it's just very different. It's almost kind of like a Slitty Slickers feel.
Ooh.
But, you know, way back.
Way back. I love it. I love it. Well, we'll move on, and I'm so excited to see that. But I know you're also in a dark comedy, Arizona. So tell me a little bit about that role. I'm assuming you were not a madam of a whorehouse in that.
No, definitely not. So that one, in the very beginning scene of the film, I play Mrs. Boychuk, and Rosemary DeWitt is a real estate agent. And so she's showing my husband and I a house, and then some crazy things start to happen. Just leave it at that. It is going to be a great film. There's lots of blood. And lots of action and lots of stuff going on. And Rosemary was amazing. It was really, really phenomenal to work with her and become friends with her. And I got to meet her husband and her 2 children who were there. On set, and her dad was there from New York too at the
whole
time.
Family.
Yeah, they were all there just hanging out in Albuquerque actually. So it's a lot of fun.
All right. Is that out now, or is it coming out? When can we check
I'm
that out?
not sure whenever it's coming out. I think it's going to be hitting a few more festivals.
And it was at Sundance, right?
It was at Sundance. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Was the feedback good? I'm assuming if it was at Sundance, it was
exactly.
good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the feedback was excellent, actually. So we'll see how it goes.
Amazing. Well, out of all the roles, so it seems like you've been a real estate agent, you've been a madam, like it seems like you've done a lot of fun roles. What has been your most favorite so far as an actress?
My favorite was working on Preacher.
Okay.
I was a waitress, and I had a recurring role. So I got to do some fun things in that role. I mean, that show is so crazy and quirky and off the wall anyway. So it really reflected in some of the scenes that we had, and it was probably one of my favorites.
Craziest scene from Preacher?
The craziest scene that I did that did not make the cut, actually, was the preacher is having this dream sequence, and I'm the waitress in the diner, and so I end up bringing him this huge steak, and there's somebody who keeps whistling the whole time, and so then I come over and I give him a huge kiss, and we kind of make out for a minute, and you can see why it's my favorite.
Okay. I'm like, ooh, fancy.
Yeah, exactly. And then I come over again and I pull a gun out of my apron and I shoot the guy who's whistling because it was annoying him, you know.
I'm upset this didn't air. Like I need to see this now.
I know. I was really bummed because it was great. I mean, I've worked with firearms a lot, and I'm kind of accustomed to them. But it was really great to get to work with the Wranglers and practice with the gun again and that type of thing. So it was a great juicy scene. I don't know. Yeah, it just got cut. So.
Maybe we'll get some. We'll see it one day.
Exactly. Maybe so. Maybe someone will pick it up off the floor.
Yeah, like YouTube. Come on, it's got to be somewhere out there. Well, okay. So, a recurring role on TV versus a movie. Which do you prefer? Or do you like both?
Well, I really like both. I do think with a recurring role on television, you really get to build the relationships, and you kind of become a family with these people. Although I will say, working on Big Kill, it felt like that. Working on location, I think you just get that because everyone is there. You're staying in the same hotel, and you're there day after day after day. So I have to say, working on a location for an extended period of time or recurring would be my favorite. You know, I've often played day players where I just come in for a day, which is great, and I'm so grateful to have those jobs, but but you're just a day player. You come in, you do your thing, and you leave. I really am a relationship person, and I enjoy people, so I like the long-term gigs.
I can only imagine how close you get with the crew and the cast when you're in a freezing cold, where was it? New Mexico?
In Santa Fe, yeah.
I bet you got really close with them.
Yeah.
Well, I know you have 3 kids, so when you are shooting roles far away, do you see them a lot? Is it all Skype and FaceTime? Do they get to come visit you ever?
Actually, no, they've never come to visit me, but a lot of times it's back and forth because, you know, I won't be there like several consecutive days. It's kind of like a few days at a time, then I could go back and forth. But we talk on the phone and we text all the time, and I've learned Snapchat.
Oh, see, my mom hasn't learned it yet, and I'm like, thank God. Finally, one thing she can like not bother me on. But no, kids are all over Snapchat. Like, it's like the way people communicate now.
Exactly. And my daughter just did a semester abroad in New Zealand, and it was so funny because before I would even know where the heck she was in the world, because when she was down there, she traveled to Bali and Bora Bora and just all Australia, all over the place. But my friends would say, oh, I just saw her Snapchat story. She's in, you know, Australia right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, good.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That's one way to keep up with them.
It is. Actually, I have to say, social media is a fantastic way to kind of keep up with your kids and what they have going on.
I'm like, Mom, stop listening. I'm like, no, it's not. Well, speaking of kids and social media, I know you have a workshop called Talk to the Camera that you work closely with. Tell us a little bit about that, and it really helps youth, and so awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So a good friend of mine and I developed that back in 2013, actually. And at the time, we were noticing that our kids were like on their phones all the time, and social communication skills were kind of lacking. My daughter was a teenager at the time, and gosh, these girls would text things to her that were so nasty. And I was thinking, God, people are willing to text things that they wouldn't say face to face, right? But so my friend and I decided, let's come up with a program where we can kind of teach kids better social communication skills, but then make it something fun. So the first class we taught was a make your own news broadcast, because what better way to communicate than doing a news broadcast, right? or an interview or something. So we did that, and it was in our own kids' school, and then it kind of snowballed from there. And gosh, we've taught over 1,000 children so far. We work in a lot of inner city Title I schools and use grant money to work in those schools. And now we do make your own news broadcasts. We have a class called Youth Tuber, where kids get to make their own YouTube videos. That's why I was like, I make boomerangs and do all this stuff all the time.
You really do know.
I actually do. And then we make movies with kids. And it's not just for kids who have an interest in acting or filmmaking in particular, but it just helps them with a lot of things, a lot of kind of life skills, you know?
Well, it's just, and that's so good, because I feel like now with phones and technology, you're glued to it the whole entire time.
Yeah.
So it sounds like with this, it's saying you don't have to be glued to it. You can use it for good.
Exactly. And use it to interact. And, you know, at the basis of all that we've ever done to grow this program, we've always just wanted to make an impact on the younger generation and create something positive for them, because there's just so much craziness in the world, and kids get confused. Like, there's just so much going on, and violence and stuff. So, you know, it's like, we'll ask these kids these questions. Do you want to make a video about that and how you could make a positive difference? And so that's kind of what we've been doing. And we've been doing it since 2013, and we just franchised the business, actually. So
amazing.
Yeah, we're hoping to take it to lots of other places.
So where is it? In Colorado right now?
It's in Colorado, Florida, New Mexico, and Virginia real soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, I love it. Hopefully one day it's all across the United States.
It would be fun. It would be great.
It would be so awesome. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything you want to tell the fans? Any upcoming projects, special news you want to fill us in on?
Let's see. I guess just go watch Big Kill. Go see it in theaters and let me know what you think. Find me on Twitter. I'm Audrey Walters on Twitter. It's AUDIE, because my dad calls me that. He likes Audie Murphy, you know, or Audrey Walters on Instagram. So love to hear from you.
Well, there you have it, guys. You have her socials. Let her know what you think of Big Kill. You can see that tentatively August 17th. We'll see, but I'm excited. And thank you so much, Audrey, for joining us.
It's great to meet you.
You too. Well, thank you, AfterBuzzers, for tuning into another mini spotlight. I'm your host, Morgan Willett. You can follow me on social media at Morgan_Willett. And once again, thank you, Audrey, for joining us, and we will see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.